everybody. Welcome to A Boss McCoy. This is Brian Cartwright. Tegan Somerset is out of the office this week. She had a unplanned road trip with Duckett Sequoia.
I don't think she actually went with Duckett. I refuse to believe it.
Look, man, all I know is that he said he had an exciting financial opportunity and that they're going to a conference about plastics. But that's all I have.
Yeah, I don't know if Tegan would fall for that. I think we should be worried for her safety.
Okay. Well, Tegan, if you're okay, let us know. Worried for Tegan's safety is Rocky Hardy.
Yeah, that's me. Tegan's my friend, and Duckett Sequoia is not.
And probably unconcerned with Tegan's safety? Wait, no, that's unfair. We have a guest today. Patrick Traynor. How are you, sir?
Pretty good. Yep, my name's Patrick Traynor. I'm part of Sega Saturn Shiro and the Spirit Hunters with, I guess, regular guest and maybe friend Joe Shiro. I don't know where you guys lay on that guy, so I'm not gonna...
Grandfather of the show.
Grandfather? Okay, I was gonna use harsher words, but I guess that's a fair... Is it because he's old or what?
No, it's just he's kind of the progenitor of like most of our podcasting careers.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, part of Sega Saturn Shiro, a podcast, and actually it's more like a news website now, and just all-around media conglomerate based off of these Sega Saturners, I guess, Sega properties. And technically we're Shiro now, we sort of try to branch out a little bit, so we're more sort of all things Sega for the most part, and just things we found cool, like stuff like, different games that are revolving around the Saturn and the life of the Sega. And then the Spirit Hunters, of course, probably Joe introduced it 25 times on the show already, but we're a podcast all about Togashi's work, so Yu Yu Hakusho, Hunter x Hunter, Level E, whatever, and we talk about the shows, everything that related to it and what inspired Togashi. So yeah, it's great to be here, though. It's good to talk to you guys. I know you were on our show, so it's kind of cool that I'm on your show now. I can mess it up, just like, no, I'm just joking. You guys did good. But in terms of your other co-hosts, I'm not worried for their safety at all because, with those plastics, you just get lost in the sauce, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that.
So yeah, it's good to be here, though.
For sure. Okay, but once again, this is not a podcast about plastics or even really Tegan's safety. This is a podcast about video games. And so, for the past couple of weeks, we've been kind of locked into some of the industry business side of stuff because of all the presentations and whatnot. And we're going to do a little bit of that, but it's going to be a lot more chill. I'm not really going to be yelling as much about stage shows.
I will.
I know that Patrick is going to give us a bit of insight on, like, the media experience. But we're mostly here to just hang out and talk about a lot of the stuff that we've been playing because of the season.
I'll tell you something I'm immediately curious about is, Patrick, on your wonderful website, Sega Saturn Shiro, you have an article up saying that somebody put a homebrew version of fucking Xenocrisis on the Saturn.
Yeah, basically what happened was some guy, I guess he really loved the game, so he decided to do a homebrew one-level demo port of it. He used this engine called Joe Engine, which is one of the biggest engines that are used to develop Sega Saturn games. Right. And he basically recreated it, and when I mean recreated, he didn't have any sprites or anything. He had to painstakingly take screenshots and capture the sprites and lurk on sprite spreadsheets and try to get everything put together and painstakingly put together this one-level demo of Xenocrisis on the Saturn.
That's dedication.
Yeah, it's fully playable on hardware. We actually did a video capture of it on the website, so if you guys want to take a look at that on SegaSaturnShiro.com, it will have the video of that, and you guys can check out the gameplay of it. It's pretty fun.
Man, I kind of hope that this work tempts Bitmap Bureau into adding yet another piece of legacy hardware to the herd of legacy hardware that they're already supporting with that game.
Yeah.
I believe that they're moving towards shipping the Neo Geo version of the game right now.
Actually, I think they're on their second print run of that. I think that's already been shipped out to some people.
Okay, they've already shipped the Neo Geo version?
I believe so, because I remember it went out of stock and then they added another version of that, so I believe that's being shipped out already, but I could be wrong, I usually am, but what I'm understanding is I think people have actually gotten that yet.
Okay.
I remember, I don't know if you guys know Retro RGB at all.
Yeah.
He was at Brooklyn Video Games, and I think he played a little bit of that there. So I believe it's out in the wild and people are playing it. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I know that there was a time where they were having difficulty sourcing some materials because of the pandemic, and that they had the work done, and so they made it available for people who had pre-ordered it, saying like, hey, your cart's coming. In the meantime, here's a file for you to mess with.
Yeah, that makes sense. Actually, I wonder if they have a file download for that, because I wouldn't mind putting that on my Mister and maybe a flashcard of that. That'd be kind of cool.
That was definitely a Kickstarter. Xenocrisis is a game that I have now bought 3 times. I Kickstarted it for the Genesis, because I'm that guy. Mm-hmm. I have so many post-commercial release Genesis games in my library. It's dumb. And then I bought it for the Switch, and then I bought it for my Evercade, again, because I'm that guy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like, I can't even, like, use the excuse, like, well, no, I can play it in bed, because I can already play it in bed for the fucking Switch, so buying it for the Evercade was just like, yeah, I just like buying Xenocrisis.
What is that Evercade thing? Is that like a desktop arcade thing?
Evercade is a handheld console that emulates a variety of old hardware, but instead of like a lot of the modern Chinese emulation focused handhelds, like the Anbernic handhelds or the Retroid handhelds, the model for Evercade is actually going out and doing the work and getting licensing agreements from various publishers and be like, hey, we want to put some of your games on our device, and then releasing multi-cart cartridges. Like putting out like Namco multi-carts, Atari multi-carts, and Television multi-carts. And they've just started getting into like some like weirder multi-carts. Like they recently did a collection of games designed by the Oliver twins. So they're just like,
those are the guys that did the egg with the egg guy?
Yeah, Dizzy the egg guy.
Dizzy, yeah.
So like they have like all of the Dizzy games on there on this one cart. They also have that like really good Robin Hood game that the Oliver twins did, which kind of feels like an early fork in the road, like the design of like Metroidvanias. They put out like the Oliver twins collection. Then one of the carts that they put out was Xenocrisis and Tanglewood.
Oh, wow. That actually sounds like an awesome combo.
Yeah, it really is. And so, like, you get, like, these games on a physical cartridge in a cool plastic clamshell box with, like, a glossy instruction manual, which is like, hey, here's how to play Xenocrisis and Tanglewood. And, like, that's fucking great.
That's pretty awesome, though.
Yeah, they're a company which has been, like, servicing, like, the retro enthusiast game market and actually delivering everything they said they have, which is, as a guy who sat around for 4 years waiting for his copy of Paprium to show up, a nice change.
4 years?
Did you ever get that in? I heard they started shipping those.
I, in fact, do have my copy of Paprium and the Grand Stick, the big fight stick that was sold with it.
Wait, they sold a fight stick with it?
Yes.
Yeah, cost like an extra $170 or some shit.
Yes.
Oh, dang. Is this a good segue to mention that I actually make my own custom fight sticks?
That is a great segue.
Yeah, so that's actually something I actually do. I get a bunch of old fight sticks, I rip out their components, and I do some custom art stuff. I actually did some custom art a little bit on Reddit. I stopped doing it after a little while because it's just been too much work. I have little time, as you probably know from all the stuff I talk about. But yeah, I actually just got I don't know if you know the Vulix, the Real Arcade Pro Vulix stick.
Yeah.
Yep.
I basically bought one of those, modded that. I ripped out the internals and put a Universal Fighting Board so I can put it on all the consoles. And that's sort of what I do. And the reason I wanted to do it is because the first one I got is I have a consoleized Neo Geo, and it takes DV15, so I actually got a old RAP 3, Real Arcade Pro 3, ripped out the internals, and just wired all the buttons to like a DV15 connector and hooked it up to my console.
Huh.
It's pretty fun. Yeah, and that's sort of what got me into it. So I made like my first one's a Neo Geo stick. I think I have 6 or 7 in total right now, counting the 2 Sega Astro City mini sticks that I got. So I collect quite a bit of those. But no, I need to see that Paprium stick, though. That kind of sounds interesting. I might have to steal that from your house, maybe. I
have honestly thought about, like, selling my copy of Paprium and the stick just because it looks like the aftermarket for that game has like really, really held up. And the guy who runs Watermelon Games is just such a sketchy fucking guy that no one can ever guarantee that he'll ever ship out more copies of like this game again. He like went on this like weird like rant on Twitter about a conspiracy. And he just like one day on Twitter, he's like, okay, guys, I'm going to talk about PayPal and I'm going to get pretty anti-Semitic. And it's like, whoa, okay.
That's a bad combo.
No, it's not great.
Yeah. And there was all these people talking about like, yeah, so he took a whole bunch of the money from Paprium pre-orders and threw this like weird like bondage fuck party in Paris.
As you do.
As one does.
I like Pure Solar.
Like, Pure Solar is fucking exhausting. I think Pure Solar is likable, but like that game, it does not particularly care if you like it. It just
sounds like the tequila video games.
Yeah.
Is that the Dark Souls of tequila?
Oh man, one of these days I'm going to serve Brian the Dark Souls of tequila. He's going to hate it the whole time.
Yeah, as one should.
And while I hate it, I'm going to love it.
Got him.
Speaking of Dark Souls, it sucks. I'm just joking.
Dark Souls is fine. It's a video game.
No, I'm only playing. I like Dark Souls. Demon Souls is pretty lit. But yeah, no. But yeah, the Watermelon game stuff is a bit sketchy. I didn't know about that, but yeah, that's quite interesting. I'm glad you got Paprium though, and that cool fight stick.
Yeah, I count myself lucky because I know there's a whole bunch of people who don't have their copy of Paprium, and he also took that pile of money for the yet to be titled Super Nintendo game. And all those people are just fucked.
Yeah.
That game is never coming out.
Wait, which one?
There was a Super Nintendo game allegedly in development at Watermelon.
Huh.
The game that was supposed to be after Paprium was a Super Nintendo game. And Fonzie was like, that's next. And he took a bunch of money for it. And he had that like ridiculous system on the website of like how to make your money go further at Watermelon, where you didn't like buy the product direct. Like, and I know what he was doing as a person who's worked in like payment processing for a fucking decade. Like, it's like, I see your ass, Fonzie. Because what you would do on the site for the stuff that was like the really deep pre-orders, it was like a invite only secret link. But in order to buy the product, you couldn't buy the product directly. You had to buy air quote gems. And then you would, which was a publicly available link on the website. And then you could only buy the game with gems. And all right, so I see what this is. This is an effort to make sure that people who bought the Super Nintendo game will lose their chargebacks with card issuers. Like when they're like, I never got my untitled Super Nintendo game that I paid for 6 years ago, which is a chargeback back to like say American Express would honor. They'll be like, oh yeah, show us where you use your Amex to buy the Super Nintendo game. None of the invoices will say that because there was step one, which was buying the gems, which every one of these people will have to say like, yes, I did receive the gems.
And they're looking at him like, sir, this isn't the Avengers. This isn't in-game, sir. You need to give us an actual link to the items you bought.
Right. Ugh.
I got the time stone, damn it. I want to get my Super Nintendo game. But yeah, I mean, if people really want to be disappointed with a Super Nintendo game, though, they should probably pick up a new one. They should really pick up Unholy Knight, the Darkness Hunter on the Super Nintendo.
That game sucks ass so much. Oh my fucking god.
Yeah, I was disappointed. I was hyped on. I was like, oh, cool. Guys behind SNK and Capcom. This awesome game. And it just turned into it's just a laggy mess.
It's absolute garbo. I got that when it was new. I was super excited for it for the exact same reasons. It's like, oh man,
yeah.
Like I saw some still shots of like the character sprites, which is like, you know, truly a retro moment. I got to make all the same bad decisions as a video game consumer that was like making it like 1995, you know, where like I saw still shots and was excited. I was like, oh man, like look at those giant sprites. Those characters look huge. I'm going to fucking love this. And then it showed up and just like, oh, the chugging and the flickering and everything about it just felt like absolute rank amateur hour. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to take the effort to sell this for as much money as I could conceivably get for it. I'm just going to drive to Fallout Games and say, here, please make this your problem now.
Oh, dang. You got a Fallout Games near you?
Yeah. There's, I guess, like 3 3 of them in the valley?
Oh, I didn't know. I know you were in the valley.
Yeah, Cartwright's in the valley.
Yeah.
Also, guys, like, I know I joked about us doing a 4-hour show today, but we actually have a lot of stuff to do, so we should probably start working on these lists.
No worries. Anyways, hit me up, Brian. We'll play some video games. I got a big game collection.
Oh, that'd be great.
Actually,
Yeah. So, Rocky, what you're saying is that I should not use this now as an opportunity to talk about the Casio Loopy, since I would have a receptive person to talk about it with.
I will give you 180 seconds for the Casio Loopy.
Yo, the Casio Loopy, right?
Yeah, the game console geared towards girls in Japan.
Yeah.
Interesting concept. Kind of weird console. I'm surprised Casio made it.
But there's so many fucking interesting things about it. Like, one, the sticker printer. It's easy to dunk on the sticker printer now, looking back at it like, sticker printer. But the launch of the Loopy predated the girls' sticker trend in Japan by about 9 months. Like, less than a year later, preteen girls were going to be trading stickers like mad in Japan. It's one of those things that was like, it was just a moment too early to like catch people with that gameplay hook. And how, of the library of 10 games, which got like routinely roasted
2 minutes
at the time, a lot of them now are, in retrospect, like getting better reviews, because the reviews that were written concurrently with the release of the device were reviews that were geared toward men and boys, and were like, fuck this stupid thing for girls. And so it seems like the library of the Loopy may actually hold more interest than originally thought. And one of the things which I find absolutely most fascinating about the Loopy is that of all the consoles out there, it seems like accurate Loopy emulation is incredibly difficult. Like, there are people who are still trying to work on emulating the Loopy.
Interesting. Well, I just put in my eBay bid for 12 of those, so hopefully that'll come in sometime next week, and I'll do a full review on the Loopy, and I'll put it next to my Sega Genesis printer as well. Or sorry, my Sega Saturn printer. Oh yeah, by the way, I bought 2 Sega Saturn printers on eBay, so yeah. Anyways, yeah, get the Loopy, eBay, your local Walmarts, GameStop.
Patrick buys all of them, god damn it.
I will hoard the Loopies just like everyone's hoarding the Metroid games and selling them for a profit.
Oh,
$100
yeah.
Loopies.
I'm actually low-key mad that I don't know where my box for Metroid Fusion is.
Yeah, that's a bit of an expensive one.
Oh, man.
It's not as expensive as my copy of Ninja 5.0, but whatevs, y'all.
Yikes.
I'm just saying, my GBA collection's got some walking around money in it.
Okay.
Hey, this Casio Loopy's $200. Buy it in eBay.
God damn it.
Oh, it went down. Before it was $250.
I think that the one he's looking at is probably loose and not in box.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's the 160. But hey, you want to play some Loopy? Life with Loopy, coming to Fox TV, Nickelodeon stations.
Okay, so Patrick, you obviously have a bone to pick with the Metroid Dread news. Hit us with it. Let's go.
All right, so I was sitting there on the couch with my roommate watching Nintendo Direct, taking notes, and all suddenly a Metroid 5 pops up, and I'm like, what is this? And then I pop up, and I literally explode with joy because we finally, after 20 years, got another Metroid game.
True.
And I was so excited. It's like, oh man, I was going to love this. I log on to Twitter. Literally every single post is, where's Metroid Prime 4? What is this garbage? Where's Metroid Prime 4? Where's Metroid Prime 4? This is BS. Where's Metroid Prime? We don't want another one. We want Metroid Prime. And I honestly wanted to punch a wall because as much as I enjoy the Metroid series, the fact that Metroid Prime Dread got so negative reception, where people comparing it to a DS game, was infuriating.
Yeah, that's fair. I get that.
But yeah. So yeah, that was a big sadness for me. I was really sad that I got that reception, but it seems everyone's warming up to it. But yeah, it just seems that a big sadness to me that the Metroid Prime series, the spin-off, is the most wanted one over the main storyline. So that was kind of a shock to me. And
I think the bigger deal is that like the Metroid Prime series is a bit more prescient because this is probably it is actually like the first like bespoke Metroid 2D game in like 20 years or so. Like everything else has been like remakes or like weird spin-offs. Like I'm looking at you, Hunters.
I thought you say Federation Force.
Oh, fuck Federation Force. God fucking damn it. But yeah, like, because like there hasn't been a game like this that's actually a Metroid game, I think like most people that are looking for Metroid news only really have Metroid Prime in their head, and that's why they're screaming about it. But you know, they'll come around, but they just need to get the game in their hands. Like, maybe some of these YouTubers will drop like the 4 figures to pick up like an old Metroid game and play it on stream, and it'll blow up.
I mean, it already is. If you look, I guess a segue into that news article, but apparently Nintendo's had a bit of a problem trying to get those games playable because apparently the only way to play them is the older ones, at least all of them, is to really pick up a Wii U, which is insane. And imagine the future was like, yeah, the Wii U is going to pick up Steam in 2021 when everyone wants to play the Metroid games again. It's like, wait, what?
The funniest part of this to me is that they had to have known that people would be interested in the old games when they made this announcement. So why not just show up with that shit ready, like for Virtual Console or whatever? What?
Because Nintendo is lazy.
Just the amount of like shit the bed bungle various 35th anniversaries which they could just collect a bunch of money on.
Right.
Where's my stupid Metroid Game & Watch? Right?
Oh god. Watch that come out like the day that that like Dread comes out. No announcement. They just figured no one would care, so they didn't announce it.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, fuck it. Here's the Metroid Game & Watch, buddy. Here you go. No one cares.
It's perfect too. You can just do the bug spray one with the Samus and the Metroids.
Yeah.
How simple concept. Just do the bug one. Yeah, that's it.
Yep. Yeah. There you go. One stroke done. We've done the work for you. But like, it just the amount of fucking money they could get with like a Metroid 2D collection right now. Like, hey everybody, by the way, like, you know, since we're not really doing Virtual Console anymore, we've just kind of put all of the 2D Metroid games onto this cartridge. And you know what? And like, because you're Nintendo, we know that you just why not just like do it for the same like dog shit like limited time release like they did with the Mario 3D collection. Be like, hey, if you want to play Metroid on a Switch, you've got to buy it in the next 90 days.
Yeah.
We're gonna hold your dreams hostage.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm stupid enough to fall for that, so I'd probably buy 12 copies because I'm literally dumb.
Oh, so's Brian. Brian would definitely fall for that shit.
Yeah, but yeah, the thing is, I haven't really checked the online with the Switch SNES and the NES thing. Do they have both the Metroids on that?
I think. No,
Yeah.
hold on. Yeah, I think at least one of them's there.
No, both.
Okay.
Metroid and Super Metroid are both available.
Okay.
But again, like, if you want to play them GBA games, get fucked.
Yeah, Fusion, Samus Returns, any of that shit. Get right. Super Mission? Or, no, what is it called? The one...
Other M?
No, the one that... No, it came out for, like...
Zero
DS.
Mission.
Was
No,
it
you.
Zero Mission?
I think you're thinking about the remake of 1 for the GBA, Zero Mission.
Yeah, Zero Mission.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the remake of 1, which debatably, I don't know how I feel about that because I feel they changed a little bit too much from the original.
For sure.
But that's my opinion. I still think it's a fantastic game. Play it if you haven't. It's a lot better experience than the clunky Metroid 1 where there's no maps and everything floats and you die of BS all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, like, when I was talking about, like, the condition in which, like, the current availability of the Metroid catalog is with somebody, they reminded me, yeah, I remember this one other legal way to play GBA titles right now, which is that, like, if you were an early adopter of the 3DS, if you were a launch
the ambassador program?
That's right. So not even everybody with a 3DS could fucking play them because it never just went on the eShop for sale.
That was their, like, please baby, I'm sorry, when the 3DS price drop happened.
Yep.
Like, they dropped the price like $100. And it's like,
Yep.
yo, what the fuck? I'm like, hey, no, it's cool. You were here early, so you get the ambassadorship. I'm like, I mean, I guess, whatever, Nintendo.
Yeah, it's just really weird. I mean, but you know what? You can always pick up the original cartridges for $100 a piece. You know, that sounds reasonable to me. Play a Metroid game $100 a piece on a Game Boy SP that probably battery lasts 5 seconds because it expanded in the Game Boy. But you know, hey, listen, you have options to play that, or the Game Boy Advance where the screen is barely visible. You know, or the Micro where it's smaller than a thumbtack. So listen, you have options, guys. No, better yet, you can get the GameCube Game Boy player, which it's $200 for the disc to boot that up. There you go. So, see, you got options, people. You have reasonable options.
That's right. Because, you know, you're going to do what every reasonable person wants to do when they want to buy a GBA, which is to go to Etsy and deal with the army of real weirdos who sell modded GBAs on Etsy and just navigate that relationship for a couple of weeks. Then you'll get your modded GBA with like custom airbrushed hentai on the back, and you'll be good to go.
And you'll get the shittiest screen possible, like the cheapest. Like if you go on AliExpress and type in Game Boy Advance screen and pick the cheapest one, that's what's going in your Game Boy.
Yeah, because all of the time and care went into the hentai, and it's just a like crappy like IPS screen, which is normally intended for parking meters. There you go.
Yeah, park your butt on the couch and play some Metroid on the worst screen in the universe.
Fuck.
Yeah. But yeah, no, there's really no good options. Or you could be a smart man and get emulation or get a Mister.
True.
And do that.
Yep.
Which is pretty awesome. I love the Mister. But I won't get into that rant. That's probably beyond the scope of this episode.
Yeah. We're fans of the Mister, but also, once again, we have things to do.
Fair enough. Let's continue on. I don't know why I don't know why I'm controlling this. I'm not the host. Sorry,
no, we're
guys.
having fun. We're fucking
No.
around.
No. First of all, we're the captains now, but we're just...
Please do. It's kind of funny. On Shiro, I do the let's wrap it up, guys, but on Spirit Hunters, I do not do that. I'm the guy that does the opposite and wastes more time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just a conflict there. So, but I'll let you guys steer that ship.
You put something in the list of topics that you want to talk about here, which is catnip for me, because I'm just like, what the fuck is going on here? Why Resident Evil 4 is a bad Resident Evil game?
Oh, yeah, this is good.
Ooh, dang.
Let's do it.
So I am a classic Resident Evil fan, as in I'm the best fan, true fan. Hashtag true, no. But I played a lot of the games growing up. It was a continuing storyline, so like you had all the tie-ins. You had Resident Evil 1 in the mansion, 2 in the city, the result of Umbrella's meddling. Resident Evil Code Veronica, which is them hunting him down in Europe. And then Western comes in and it's like, oh my god, he's part of this now. And then you have 3, which is what's going on with Jill in there. And it has this whole build up, this energy. It's like, what's the next game? This is going to be hype. And then it's Leon saving the president's daughter in Europe with a bunch of
The president's daughter has been kidnapped. It's
guys and parasites, and it's like, imagine it's like you're running full force and somebody's like, no, and you just stop you in the track. And that's what it feels like almost
I get that.
for the games.
I agree that Resident Evil, like, as a series, tends to be, like, additive and, like, builds its own, like, order and, like, mythos. But I think the reason that, like, Resident Evil 4 is so beloved is that they could jump into the game without having to care about all of that.
Yeah, and that's actually what I was going to bring up, is that I think it's one of the best games on the GameCube, or I guess technically it's on every system in existence now, but...
It's about to be in VR.
Oh, damn. Yeah, but it's one of the best games like I've ever played. It was a ton of fun. I loved it. But like in terms of a Resident Evil game, it's definitely low on the list, but don't worry, it's not on the bottom. That would be saved for Resident Evil 5 and 6.
Yeah.
Even the Revelations games are pretty good with connecting to that storyline a bit.
You don't like racist co-op adventure in Africa?
God damn it.
I was telling my friend that, is like, if it weren't for the co-op, it would literally be one of the worst Resident Evil games, because that single player with Sheva, oh my god, Sheva is the worst AI in existence. I don't care what anyone says about Ashley. At least Ashley doesn't waste all your bullets and hand you the gun back and ask for more ammo. Like, oh my god. I absolutely hate Sheva. Like, I love the character. Like, I'm kind of annoyed that they don't bring her back, because I think she's fantastic and I really want more story from her, but the AI is, oh god. Honestly, play it co-op if you want to play it.
I think she might come back in the... Oh, fuck. What is it? It's like the Resident Evil, like, 4 spinoff where they're in, like, the White House and it's being attacked by zombies.
Oh, the Netflix series that's coming out next month.
Yeah.
Oh.
I feel like she might make an appearance in that.
I'd be down. The thing is that I don't know how the BSA is going to connect, because have you guys played Resident Evil 8 yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, I guess spoilers for people that haven't. Like, the connection to the BSAA, I'm curious to see how it'll tie into that now that it's confirmed that BSA is pretty much the bad guys at this point, or at least leaning more towards the evil side.
I'd be interested in that interaction.
Yeah, we'll see what's going on. It's definitely interesting to see the turn cloak of it, but I have no idea with the ending of that game how that's going to move forward, but we'll see. Personally, I would like another one led by an older character this time, but, I think with the Ethan Winters, was just two of them, not the trilogy? It's the...
Duology.
Duology, yeah. With the duology finished up pretty much for Ethan Winters, I'm kind of excited to see what they're going to do next, if it's going to be an old character, new character, but I guess the point is that I think that Resident Evil 4 definitely... That transition from 3 to 4 was pretty shocking, but I think they did it good with 7, and I felt it was more natural of a transition, and it wasn't as jarring, mostly because that game scared the hell out of me, so...
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my argument for why I think Resident Evil 4 is a bad Resident Evil game, along with 5 and... was it 5, 6, and 7?
Yeah.
No, it's 5 and 6, sorry. 7 is good. 5 and 6.
5 and 6.
Ignore 7. 7's good. That's good.
Brian, any rebuttal?
Not really. I'm certainly eagerly anticipating the Oculus Quest version of RE4 because it is a good game, and it sounds like they've really done the work on
adapting it for the new console.
Yeah, adapting it for VR. I did discover that there is now a platform that RE4 is not available for, one where it was previously available. It's no longer available for iPhone.
Oh yeah. Oh dang, that does count.
Yeah. And that's because when Apple was like, okay, look, game developers, you have to update your products to work on 64-bit architecture, that Capcom was like, you know what, fuck it, and just didn't, and just took the game off the store.
Yeah, that's fair. Fuck them. God damn it.
To be completely honest, though, that iOS updates so regularly that if the app's not updated, it'll basically take it off the store and will be delisted, because, I do coding, and how much Swift evolves and Objective-C is just insane compared to regular other languages. It's like night and day sometimes between some of the, you can literally write functions and the next update it'll brick everything. It's insane.
Yeah. How
crazy some of that stuff is, and it's the most interesting language that I've worked with before, but yeah, it's really good stuff. To be honest though, that port really sucked, so I'm not crying over it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Square Enix's Tomb Raider for iOS was a little bit better, but not by much. It is also lost to the graveyard of time. There was a lot of older console games that lived on iPhone until that happened.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest sadness about the iOS store, is that it's not really into preservation of these apps. So I think going back, I think there's going to be something that, besides Flappy Bird, there's going to be something that's lost that's massive, and I think it'll trigger a preservation. And while there is some online right now for these apps, I think it's something that is going to be really detrimental going forward, especially with the way Apple conducts itself in terms of keeping the apps on the store, or taking them off constantly, or delisting them if they don't meet the specifications for the newest iOS version.
It's weird because it's we're starting to see the very first hints within their game teams of interest in things like preservation and remastering. Within Apple Arcade, there's now a percentage of Apple Arcade releases which are re-releases of beloved old phone games with remastered visuals. It's okay, here's Jetpack Joyride, and Jetpack Joyride doesn't necessarily light my dick on fire, but I'm glad that someone's remastering Jetpack Joyride. I know that the vast majority of phone game consumers yet are not people who care about remastering old games on their phone.
Yeah, but if you think about it, the iOS platform and App Store games and stuff it's just now the generation that grew up with them is probably going to get nostalgic in a little bit for that, because they're people that are 6 in 2017 are in their 20s at this point, which is kind of insane to think about.
Yeah.
Because I remember when the iPhone 1 came out, that was insane, but it's just an interesting dynamic in that, and I think just games in general have not reached their apex in terms of preservation. I mean, We're in the era, comparison to film, where they just let the nitrates burn or throw them in an attic and pray that it doesn't get messed up, or they send old Doctor Who games to some warehouse and church and some LDS church and sit it in their basements. In that perspective, not the Dark Souls. We're in the dark times of game preservation right now.
Although, thank God for a definitive re-release of Plumbers Don't Wear Ties, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah. That, you know what? I thought it was excited for Rondo of Blood. I want to do a petition to remove Rondo of Blood's physical release and just Plumbers Wear Ties physical release. Get that Rondo stuff out of my face and get that Plumbers Wear Ties stuff on my lap, is what I say.
I'm like, obviously you can't top definitive re-release of Plumbers Don't Wear Ties, but I move that they add definitive re-release of Neurodancer to their catalog, because we need more like old, weird, niche garbage that everyone hates just poured on our face with deluxe box sets, please. And
I'm down.
Yeah.
What was that one game on the Jaguar that's like, where did you learn to fly? That one. Port that. HD remaster that one, please.
I'm holding out for the HD remaster of Kasumi Ninja for the Atari Jaguar, but, you know.
Ooh, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'd be down.
Patrick, what's Iorn Mayden?
Oh, I forgot this was a game podcast, so I thought it was a bunch of things. Just listen to Iron Maiden, that's about it.
No, that's fine. Believe me, like this podcast like gets in the weeds, and there's known to be some bullshit here.
I'm surprised we're not in the weeds right now.
This is a safe space for bullshit. Which Iron Maiden are you listening to?
Well, basically, I've been on a kick for Iron Maiden for the last couple of years, so I've been trying to get all their albums on vinyl and original pressing, so I just bought Killers, and I've been listening to that for like a week straight. So I've been listening to a lot of Killer stuff. I love the first two albums. I know a lot of people kind of have a love-hate with that, but I think the first two are some of the best albums ever released, in my opinion. I learned I actually did not like Peace of Mind, sadly, so that kind of sucked. Because Peace of Mind has some pretty good songs on it, but I just didn't like the vibe of it. But yeah, listen to that. Seventh Son, Killer album as well. And I'm still trying to trek through that catalog, so little by little, but I've pretty much listened to the first 6 albums and sort of trying to go through that. I mean, I listened to them for years, but I mean, sitting down and like going through them, like, so I did the same thing like with Nirvana, like Megadeth and stuff like that, Green Day. So it's like a album journey. It's like I don't know how to describe it. It's just a fun little journey, just listening to the albums consistently through. But I'm just a big fan of doing that, so it's just, and this time it's Iron Maiden, so lots of Iron Maiden listening.
For me, like, Iron Maiden, like, has this, like, really weird mental association with me, for me now. Gosh, I guess at this point, like, going on 12, 13 years ago, I used to run a limited edition horror small press company, like limited pressings of hardcover books. Like, we would generally do like 150 copies of like fine editions in cloth, and then like lettered editions, which were like bound in leather. And I remember sitting around and setting up my books for the printer, like late nights in Adobe InDesign, laying out books. And for me, it was the triptych of Peace of Mind, Power Slave, and Somewhere in Time were like my laying out books music. And so, like, I hear Iron Maiden, I'm like, oh, I'm laying out expensive horror books. That's just what my brain does.
I know that vibe. Like, I used to do that with Dad Rock. I used to listen to a radio station. I guess it's defunct. I know you probably would know it. 93.3 KDKB.
Okay, yeah.
Back in high school, I would play old-ass video games like Red Alert 2 and StarCraft and just put that on in the background and listen to that. So every time I hear certain songs, I think of, man, I remember playing Red Alert 2 to this song. So I kind of am on that same wavelength with that. None of it was Iron Maiden, weirdly. It's like a lot of Metallica, but I don't really listen to Metallica that much anymore these days. I kind of got burnt out a bit.
I mean, honestly, so did they.
Ooh, big burn, but I agree.
But here a little bit more of a general topic, which is game collecting. I have ranted within the last several months on this show about like the impact of the pandemic on like old game pricing in general. Shit seems crazy out there.
What, you don't want to pay $800 for a copy of Magic Knight Rayearth on the Saturn?
I would like to not do that.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to do that, but yeah, that's the reality, sadly. Like, it's kind of funny, like, I was looking at my games, like, oh, hey, and I just check on them for fun, like, oh, hey, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure went up $200. Oh, hey. Like, I think the craziest one is I had a Cubivore that I bought, like, last year for $350 that I thought was expensive. It's up to, like, $600, $500 now. I was like, damn.
There's a thing which traditionally happens with old game collecting, which is as the generation which is nostalgic, like, shifts forward, it generally, like, starts to, like, pop the bubble on, like, the generations before it.
Yeah.
It used to be that, like, you got absolutely fist fucked on Atari games, but now there's only just like a very small number of VCS games which are like ridiculously expensive. Otherwise, like even complete in box, like VCS is something which is like very, very attainable for people. But now it seems like as like newer generations inflate in price, it is not impacting the price of older generations of games. Like the bubble does not seem to be popping on NES or Super Nintendo or PlayStation at all. Like they're just like, now that like the PS2 GameCube era is like rapidly inflating, just no price relief on earlier generations at all. Just like, Jesus.
I don't know what you're talking about. I could have sworn Contra went down in price, but now I'm internally screaming because I'm seeing $32 to $35 for that game. It's like, what the fuck?
Right.
Seriously, that's insane. Like this isn't complete in box too. This is like loose copies. Like I can't see myself paying $30 for Contra. Sorry, I like Contra, but not that much. Sorry, right, people. But yeah, it's just insane. Some of these game prices that are not going down. Like Earthbound is not dropping. Like I thought 150 was expensive. I think it's at let me see, Earthbound SNES. Let's see how much it went up. $306. Good price, guys. $306 for Earthbound. Yeah, let's go pay that for the cartridge. I skipped on a copy of Earthbound complete in box at like a Zia Records for $500. So that was dumb of me to do. So yeah, don't be like me and be dumb. But yeah, it's just insane. Like we're not seeing that price drop, and I think part of it's part of the pandemic because I know that some stuff was for the SNES was going down a little bit, but I mean it shot back up because it's like there really wasn't a lot of retro available. I know a lot of shops talk about like they had people ask for these consoles that they didn't have, and they just go down the list to different options of consoles. Like, oh, I want a PS1, don't have that. Okay, I want a Genesis, don't have that. Oh, I want an NES, yeah, we have that. And it just trickles down in that nature. So it's kind of like, it's ridiculous. Some of these games that are just staying up there in price and going up. Like Saturn, I mean, it was inaccessible back in like 5-6 years ago. Now it's just improbable. Get an ODE. Don't waste your time on collecting for it. And that's got a guy that runs a Saturn podcast, a Saturn news thing. It's just ridiculous. And I wouldn't say abhorrent or immoral, but it's sort of, it's kind of shitty to ask somebody to pay $1,200 to play Panzer Dragoon Saga. I mean, like, seriously.
That is my own. I passed up on a game story. I passed up on a copy of Panzer Dragoon Saga at Fallout Games, complete in box, like, and the long box was in good shape. And, like, as a Saturn guy, you know, them fucking long boxes are just waiting to shatter. You look at them and they shatter. Yeah, but really, do I want to spend $400 on that? In retrospect, I would.
Man,
yeah.
That was a good deal. I remember when people were burning on it because it was $500. Like, oh, $500, that's crazy. And now it's like $1,200 to $1,500. It's like, dang, that's like sweet music right there.
And I do, like, the thing I get huffy about is just, I guess there's two things I get huffy about. Like, one, it seems like when people are talking about, like, the recent change in the market, I see so many people, like, hand-waving it and going, like, oh, well, it's just because people got their stimmies. And I'm like, no, it is not just because people got their stimmies. That is such a, like, ridiculous, short-sighted, fucking garbage view as to, like, why the market has changed. But, like, traditionally, in unsure economies where there is a dearth of jobs that pay well because of what is called like a capital strike, where business owners are withholding value for labor, then there is usually an increase in the price of and value of collectibles. You know, like historically it's been like books or paintings, like things that people value and can be resold, that like usually in environments where capital strikes happen, collectibles gain value. And the other piece of it is that so many people got put in such a bad place by the pandemic financially. They're like, oh, well, it looks like I'm going to lose my fucking home. I guess I better sell my copy of Earthbound. So just like the idea, like, oh, people got their stimulus checks, and so they're willing to pay whatever for video games, is like just this incredibly monodimensional horseshit view of this that just like really burns my beanbag.
I like that terminology. I'm stealing that.
Have at it.
That's
the
my
other
now.
piece of it that like really just frosts me is there are people who I know that like the reason that they want to buy old video games is to play old video games in situations where like they're doing as little emulation as possible. Like they're like, I would like to play old games on something which, if not original hardware, is as close to original hardware as I can muster for my use case. Like I have the like impossible to obtain the analog Super NT like sitting under my TV for playing Super Nintendo games, and I have one of those like cool old like 2-drawer slide things for my NES games like sitting on my coffee table, and I want to play Super Nintendo games. The Super Nintendo games I buy to play. So like the thing that like really bothers me is if there are people out there who are honestly like they are surviving because of their trading in a commodities market, fine. I won't begrudge them buying and selling games. The people who I will begrudge buying and selling games like this are the shelf candy Bitcoin bros who are just like, yeah, man, I'm letting it appreciate. I'm just letting it appreciate on my shelf. It's like, okay, so is it like putting food on your table? Nah, dog. Like I've got that job at the Quiznos. That pays for everything. I just like collecting these games, let the value appreciate. It's the speculators.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just like, like if you're actually buying and selling games to put food on your table, fine. I get it. That's okay. But like these jackasses who are just like driving a speculation market. Yeah,
no, I buy games and I like some games because most of the games I play is on ODEs now and optical drive emulators and the Mister now. But the games I do buy are ones that I really enjoy and really mean a lot to me. Like I'm not buying like I'm a Saturn guy. I don't own Panzer Dragoon. I don't own Albert Odyssey. I don't own like some of these rare Saturn games. I do buy the ones I love. Like I have a copy of Magic Knight Rayearth. I have a copy of Symphony of the Night on Saturn, but it's because I love those games. I beat them. I enjoy them. They're fantastic games, so I'm buying them for that reason. And yeah, maybe some of them spend a little bit of time on the shelf, and I don't really play them over like the actual put the discs in. But I mean, I just enjoy them. They're fun games, and I want to complete that love for them. I guess if that's the terminology I like to use. But for the most part, though, I'm kind of out of the whole collecting and hoarding a bunch of random rare games. Like I don't really vibe with that. I just buy the stuff that I want to play, and the stuff I play is mostly on ODEs now. So I mean, if I don't get a copy of Saga or something, and it's like it's $50,000, I'm not gonna cry about it because I can enjoy it, I can play it, and if I do end up loving it, I'll start saving up that money for that $50,000, I guess. But no, I get your point though, is that a lot of the people are driven by the you need to buy this, or no emulation, no this, it's actual hardware and the physical discs or nothing. And like a lot of people that can be very gatekeepy about it, but I used to be a little bit gatekeepy on the emulation stuff, but I mean, I basically use emulation nowadays on everything, so I mean, in terms of like the hardware emulation for the Mister stuff, so I can't really begrudge that anymore, so I'd be a little bit of a hypocrite if I did.
There was a thing that guy who I normally greatly admire, Jeremy Parrish, said the other day that like absolutely put a bone in my beef. He said, lots of discourse about the merits of CRT screens for classic gaming this week. Having gone to a lot of effort and expense to get max CRT video quality from my vintage consoles, I absolutely feel like the best way to experience classic games is whatever works for you. Don't sweat it. I mean, I don't enjoy playing games made for CRTs on flat panels. I love the CRT look, and I hate display lag. But if someone prefers, say, Mega Man 2 with non-integer upscaling at the wrong aspect ratio with 5 frames of lag, the important thing is that they're playing Mega Man 2. And I'm like, all right, you're saying the thing, but are you really saying the thing? Like you're saying like whatever way is best for you, but then you proceed to be like, and then fuck all these people. Like they're just.
I don't know. The thing is that personally, I own 3 CRTs and I have like RGB. Like I owned at one point like 5 RGB monitors, but I mean, I do it because I love it.
Right.
I mean, to be honest though, a lot of the time I've been doing is on I've been doing game capturing, so I haven't really sat down and play stuff.
Right.
But when I do, it's on the mist on my 65-inch TV or on my little monitor to the left of me to do game capture.
Right.
And I mean, like, there's no wrong way to play it. If you want to play it through RF, that's fine. But like, I mean, come on, aspect ratio, that's where I draw the line. I mean, come on, man. I mean, that's kind of fucked up, you know? Besides the aspect ratio, everything else is fine. I mean, the thing is that I didn't start out with 5 CRTs. I got a small loan of $1 million. No, I started out with the shittiest HDMI upscaling box possible that interpreted as 480i. It was laggy. I couldn't beat any games on it that required like precise inputs. But I mean, I was there and I enjoyed it. It was good for what I used it for, and I upgraded and I was happier. And I got little by little, I got more and more stuff. And I mean, if it's all about enjoying the games, if you want to play it, that's fine. But I mean, there's going to be some serious detrimental stuff, especially for games like Castlevania or stuff that require input like Mega Man. Like, you're not gonna have the best experience playing Mega Man with 5 frames of lag. I mean, even if that's the case, I mean, it's not speedrunning. It's like the point where you miss jumps or you miss inputs. And I've noticed it myself going from a CRT to a upscaler, that I noticed gameplay performance issues in stuff like Castlevania and stuff in that nature. So, I mean, it all depends, but yeah, I am the CRT master race though. So,
well, I think that the accessibility answer to this is platform holders and game publishers being better about preservation efforts that make old games available on new hardware. So that way, if somebody's just like, okay, look, I too want to be casually disappointed by the game, which is Contra, they don't have to like dig up an old box to do so. Like, make your Contra available on Switch and PlayStation and PC, and just make these games available. Like, part of the problem that we have to like sit around and talk about like weird hardware sorcery is that like so many of these games just aren't available for modern devices. And like, I'm a big sucker for Way Forward. They're one of my favorite game designers. I love that studio. Like, Way Forward makes great games. And so when you were talking about like the games on Saturn that you have affection for, it made me think that some of the games in my GBA collection that I have affection for are the 2 Barbie games that Way Forward did for the GBA, and how it's entirely likely that those games will never see any kind of re-release or any kind of preservation effort, because games which are licensed games just fall into this like hellscape where like the license holder is like, I don't know, whatever, fuck it. Like, we don't care about like making sure that this thing is like reasonably preserved. And it like always drives me up the wall whenever I hear people talking about like, why can't I get GoldenEye no more? I'm like, do you know the number of games out there which are in the why can't I get GoldenEye no more like vortex? Like, GoldenEye is just like the biggest and most notable example because of all of the like weird like dorm room nostalgia around GoldenEye. But like, there are a metric fuck ton of licensed games that will never be remastered, remade, ported, preserved. Like, that's why I felt like such a weird anomaly when that SpongeBob 3D platformer got like re-released for everything. It's like, oh, okay, like this is happening. Like, this feels weird.
Yeah, the thing is, I can see something like SpongeBob because it's still a massive media franchise, and those games are actually really, really good. Battle for Bikini Bottom, I mean, it's a staple in speedrunning, as silly as that sounds. That, I mean, Battle for Bikini Bottom is a really big category, really big game played in speedruns, and it's been at a few GDQs as well. So I mean, it's an insane game. But yeah, it's a good point though. That's like some of these games. I mean, the only successful one that we've had recently is the Scott Pilgrim game, which was luckily saved on both vinyl and like because they did a vinyl release because that one was also out of print for the longest time,
Right.
and we finally got a physical release of that game. So I definitely see what you mean, though.
Yeah, for the longest time, people thought that the game was out of reach. Like, oh, we'll never see Scott Pilgrim again. The one which I'm like currently just like, oh god, will we ever see this re-released? Is one of my absolute favorite games, which is Lollipop Chainsaw.
Oh god, don't even get me started on that game. That's another PS3 game that's going up in price that I don't want to buy.
And like, I personally love Lollipop Chainsaw. I think it's a great fucking game. It is a Suda game. And it's caught in a hellscape right now because that game is so tied to all of the licensed music, which is like throughout that game. And when they did the business for the music for that game, it was what was like definitely standard at the time in the video game industry, which was a 10-year license agreement. And they're just like, all right, we could either do the business to get the music back so that way we could re-release it, or we could let this game rot forever. And they go with let this game rot forever.
I don't know. It worked for Tony Hawk. It took 20 years or whatever, but they did it.
But you know what, man? Like, I just don't like with Tony Hawk. It had like the force of a whole series behind it.
Sure.
There's like this massive, valuable back catalog because like now that Tony Hawk 1+2 has done very well, like they can come back at us and be like, hey, here's Tony Hawk 3+4.
I mean, sure, but like, we're not going to get into Thug or Thaw. Like, that has an expiration date.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, but listen, let's be honest here. I mean, what they can also do is they could just re-release it, but replace the music with Joe Crocker's Little Help from My Friends, like Jesus. They didn't do for Wonder Years, and the other TV shows in licensing hell, like WKRP, where they don't have any of the music for it.
They'll re-release Lollipop Chainsaw, but they'll replace the entire soundtrack, which is Vocaloid tracks. New playable character, Hatsune Miku. Let's go.
Ooh, that actually would be kind of banging. Actually, I would not be opposed to that. That actually would be a kind of cool release, because I actually kind of like I like Miku.
Yeah, Miku rocks, man. She wrote the Harry Potter series and invented Minecraft.
Yeah. I think I'm missing context on that one, but...
there is a thing that the kids on the internet do where when they have trouble reconciling the fact that they're nostalgic for art made by a piece of shit, they try and like talk themselves into continuing to buy and support it by saying that it was created by Hatsune Miku, which I'm fine in the case of Minecraft because Notch is no longer actively getting new money because he just sold his... Notch does not get paid again when you buy more Minecraft stuff.
To be honest, even back in the day, it wasn't about Notch, it was about the programmer. I thought it was like Marcus... No, not Marcus. It was another programmer that kept Marcus's code running because he can't code for shit. It was a running joke that it ran like shit back in the day on Java.
It did.
But the one program, I can't remember what his name was. Yeah, it was a running joke because it always ran like shit. At least when he owned that. Yeah, I forgot who the programmer was, but the guy that did the program is like a god of programming. He basically took that game from garbage to perfect, and he's pretty much who I hold in regard for making Minecraft so successful compared to Notch. I think he's still on the staff, though, actually.
Good for him.
But it does chat my ass in the case of when people do that with Harry Potter, because it's like, you realize that Rowling's still getting money, right? You can do this cute shit all you want, but, like, you could say, like, Hatsune Miku created Harry Potter all you want, but, like, she's still getting paid. So...
Yeah, it's kind of why I didn't want to play that new Harry Potter RPG, even though it kind of looked fire. It's like, it does look interesting, but I don't want to support a piece of shit, so I'm not going to play it.
Right.
No, I don't spend any money on, Harry Potter shit. I just taking that credit away from J.K. Rowling. Don't misunderstand, Brian.
If it's any consolation, I never paid for one Harry Potter thing. I read all the books from the library.
Oh, yeah. Support your local libraries.
Yeah. Actually, you get a lot of good stuff from there. I listened to a lot of books on tape when I did commuting that way, but obviously not right now. For obvious reasons. So, but yeah, sorry that Harry Potter kind of sucks now, though. That kind of sucks.
Nah, it's chill, whatever. Harry Potter's a cop anyways.
Yeah, doesn't he literally grow up to be a cop?
Yeah, he becomes a cop. That's what he
Fuck him. Fuck Harry Potter.
That's what he said.
Is it AWAB?
No, because, like, I mean, Bellatrix Lestrange was kind of cool. You know, they did try to kill her, but she was cool.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I just hear AWAB and I feel like Elmer Fudd is about to go on a racist rant. Like,
oh no. Oh
no. This is going to the bad place.
Yeah, man, please.
I just think about that video which is at this point like pushing 20 years old, of like the asshole outside the Barnes and Noble at midnight, like speeding by, shouting "Snape kills Dumbledore," and
you bitch, bitch.
And like I'm just like, all right, so would the modern equivalent of that now be like driving by the Barnes and Noble or the movie theater at midnight and shouting, "You know that J.K. Rowling's a transphobe, right?" Like, just making all of these people recognize, like, all right, this is what you're doing with your life. Like, you're... Oh, God.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, I don't know, it's kind of a weird situation. Like, I mean, some people may not know about it. Like, oh, I just like Harry Potter, but I don't know. That's because there are a lot of people that are like, I don't know, like just consumers that like watching the movies and stuff, and they like, oh, Harry Potter, let's watch it. I don't look into J.K. Rowling's background or Twitter and stuff. So some of it, I mean, if they don't know, I don't fault them for watching it, because I mean, it's like reading H.P. Lovecraft and not knowing about H.P. Lovecraft.
I had a painting of Lovecraft I took down like when I found out.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh. And then you think about like the stuff in his writing for like, I don't know, 10 seconds once you have that context, and you're like,
oh man, he meant that shit.
You're like, oh no.
Yeah, and it's a difficult situation because there's still popular artists like Michael Jackson, Megadeth, Dave Mustaine, just period, just being a piece of shit. Eric Clapton pretty much neglecting his son, but
the Frasier, for sure.
I'm not getting to that big yikes, but I mean, he wrote a song about him, so it's all good, right?
But speaking of big yikes, this is one I think that we can probably dig in on. This is also, I guess, segue into your E3 thoughts as media. How about that Tommy Tallarico and Doug Tennapel, huh?
Wait, what?
Okay. Are you familiar with Doug Tennapel, professional piece of shit?
I don't think I heard of Doug Tennapel. I know about Tommy Tallarico, and that's that whole thing with the Intellivision stuff.
Yeah.
Tennapel used to work on I guess now he's on the reformed Earthworm Jim team, and he's an open transphobe.
Oh, no. Oh, shit.
He's not just an open transphobe, he's an Islamophobe. Yeah. He's a virus truther. Mm-hmm. He was a supporter of the January 6th insurrection.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Doug Tennapel is on record as saying that he doesn't believe that trans people are human, which is, like, I think a new low bar for transphobes.
Yeah, that's like unabashedly, I hate trans people.
Yeah. And, like, when he says stuff like, I wish that, like, they had taken the Capitol and taken care of Pence, like, and installed Trump forever. Like, Doug Tennapel is definitely all caps one of those. And when he got hired by Intellivision for developing this new Earthworm Jim game, because they're like, hooray, like, we've licensed Earthworm Jim the character to develop a new Earthworm Jim game, and we're putting the band back together. And they went and got, like, every asshole who worked on the original Earthworm Jim games to work on this new Earthworm Jim game. I'm like, and we were talking about this last week, I'm like, you couldn't just leave it, because the project had two leads, which were Dave Perry and Doug Tennapel. And I'm like, you couldn't just leave it at Dave Perry? Like, he can't be in fucking charge. You have to give Doug Tennapel work. But, like, kind of digging into Tommy Tallarico on Twitter, I'm like, oh, it's because Tommy Tallarico is also one of those.
Wait. Tommy's that way? What the fuck?
Yeah, he's apparently, like, building a console for the alt-right. It's kind of nuts.
Yeah. Like, going and, like, looking at Tallarico's, like, follows and likes on Twitter was a thing I did last week, where I was like, oh, like, here he is, like, liking posts by white nationalists, and here he is, like, liking posts by Tucker Carlson, and here's, like, all of his incredibly garbage Twitter follows with, like, people like that guy who created critical race theory as Dog Whistle and Candace Owens. He likes the full collection of garbage people on Twitter and, like, routinely interacts with their content.
Wow, this is blowing my mind. I don't know if you guys listen to the CU podcast at all, the Pat the NES Punk one.
I do not.
Oh, basically he does a lot of rants on Tommy, but literally it's all about the console, the weirdness of all that. I don't know why he's not covering that. I mean, that's kind of I don't know. As much as I don't like the way he's handling it in some aspects, I think that's a little bit worse than the video game stuff. I don't know. Maybe that's just me speaking. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm looking too much into it. But I mean, come on. Let's.
I mean, call me crazy. It just seems to be that like you might value the dignity and rights of people. It's a wild idea.
Weird, but I just want to point out that I was looking up Doug Tennapel. I thought you kept saying Doug Tennapel. I thought there was some joke there.
Sure.
I just want to say that he worked on a Ren and Stimpy video game, and that's all I'll say about that.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you know, then you know.
I unfortunately know.
Yeah.
It's a...
Drunk is a piece of shit. Anyways.
Now that I've, like, I guess, like, very much in, like, the Roddy Piper way, put on the sunglasses, like, reading Tommy's Twitter is, like, an entirely different experience. There was, like, a tweet he sent out this week where he, like, sent this tweet where he's like, "Thank you to Nintendo Life for a fair and balanced review of Intellivision. A lot of positive comments by the readers as well!" Exclamation point. And you're like, Tallarico's Twitter now just reads like Trump Twitter. And, you know, he's been doing...
Yeah, what happened to that guy?
Yeah, and he's been doing this thing this week where he's just been going after issuing strikes on YouTube channels, which are, like, being critical of the Amico.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah, and, like, that's a really bad move. Like, people who are, like, not using any footage, they're just like, hey, I'm just going to sit here and talk about why I think the Amico sucks ass. And he's going after him. And, like, that's wildly fucked. And something I just wanted to get your thoughts on is, like, for me, something that, like, came sharply into focus this year is just, like, the idea that when it comes right down to it, like, what the ESA does is sell slots to companies. And that... That is the bar. You have a formal E3 show if you pay the ESA money to have a formal E3 show. And there are companies that had E3 showcases that, like, and I'm not even gonna, like, bitch here about Verizon because, like, whatever. But, like, in the case of, like, Intellivision and Mythical Games, there seems like there are real ethical considerations with them having E3 slots. Like, what the fuck? Like, Intellivision and Mythical Games, these are bad people doing bad things. Why give a platform to these assholes?
Because they give them a large amount of money to do so.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that if you're working at the ESA, it's like, oh, hey, this company with this big name, oh yeah, sure, you can have a slot, or here, you'll buy a slot. I mean, it's like they're not looking into this to that extent. So I don't really, as much as I do fault the ESA for doing some dumb stuff, I don't think it's purposefully malice. I think it's just ignorantly malice. So they don't really look into that. And that's a discussion for, should they be looking into that? And I guess that's a very ethical one to have about that, because I think there's a lot of ethics in that regards in terms of who they're giving slots to. And it's definitely something, especially with the video game scene and the I'm trying to think of the right word for it. The video game climate, I guess, changing, and the attitudes that we've been evolving as a society, especially in the game world, where we went from saying slurs and stuff years ago and just throwing them around and joking around to, like, being very serious and conscious about that stuff. I think it's something that we have to be aware of, and hopefully we can start moving forward in a positive direction with that, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It definitely seems to be, like, if they just want to sell slots, fine. But there needs to be some kind of, like, vetting on the companies which are buying slots, and some kind of coordination with the ESA on, like, what is going to, some disclosure to the ESA about what is going to be on stage for each show. Because I would certainly have a problem if Capcom had a show and they're like, you know what, we were only planning a 10-minute show where we showed nothing, but we figured that, like, what harm could happen if we just gave 10 minutes for Richard Spencer to talk right now? I would have a problem with that.
Yeah.
So I think that, like, the ESA having a working understanding of, like, who they're selling slots to, and then, like, the content which is going to, like, then be on the shows for existing stakeholders is a thing that should probably happen.
Yeah, the thing is that the ESA is, I mean, it's always not been that great. I mean, obviously we had the rampant booth babe thing years ago that was a bit problematic in some other aspects as well that they sort of allowed. So it kind of
evolved past the need for booth babes.
It's a weird thing for the ESA because, I mean, like I said, we're evolving. We don't have that sort of that need for eye candy anymore. That's.
I know what you're saying. Go ahead.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying though, right? It seems like the whole scene is moving forward in that regards, and I think hopefully the ESA will start sort of looking more towards that, because to be honest, there's a lot of press conferences that weren't, I wouldn't say problematic, but just weird and why they existed. Like I think it was Take-Two that it was literally 10 minutes of them on a Zoom call or something like that. There's like a really weird ones like that, or like one of the, I forget what company it was. I think they showed one game. And then it was that was it. And I was like, wait, where's the rest of the press conference?
Oh, yeah, that was Bandai Namco, I think, right?
Yeah, it was Bandai Namco. They didn't show anything about it. It was weird that, but this has been a weird last year for E3, just because of the whole evolution from the pandemic and how they had to present the show. So it definitely was a weird time for sure for E3. I mean, I went to E3 physically in 17 and 18, and I wouldn't say it had that sort of same energy, but it definitely had a similar energy where there's companies that it's like, why are you here? Like I think I remember that they had a Nickelodeon for like iCarly and stuff one year, and it's like, wait, what?
Oh, fuck.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't go to that one, but that was like years ago. I remember hearing somebody else talk about that, but there were some really weird ones. Like there's massage chairs, I think that was one year as well. So it's interesting, the companies that get in as media, but, to be fair, though, I really got into those when it was on the tail end of them being more of a public event than a media-focused event, so I can't really speak on the media event back then. But as a media that came in this year, it was definitely a strange year for sure. Yeah. I think the platform they use, I don't know if you guys, did you guys use their E3 platform this year?
No, I wanted to talk about that because I heard that there was once again like an issue with like disclosing identities through the platform, and everything I've heard who were on the media portal say is that like they took no appointments as a result of the portal and couldn't figure out why it existed. Yeah, the portal was bizarre. I guess I'll tell my experience. I was fortunate enough to be accepted as media this year, and this is the first time I think it's the third time I covered it as, well, I guess as physical as I can this year, but from 17 and 18, and then of course this year. I skipped 19, there's nothing. But anyways, the point is, the media was weird. You signed up, and it's like, oh yeah, set up your name, set up your avatar. It's like an avatar. And this wasn't like, this was like do you guys remember Yahoo? Like they had those little images that you put together as an avatar on the Yahoo Ask. Yep. Yahoo Answers years ago. It was like that, where you designed a custom avatar, and I loaded into it, and I was setting stuff up, and it's like, follow these booths, and there's a lot of tests. Sandeep 1, 2, 3 testing, and this was on what I saw, and I'm a developer, and test data on prod is a big no, and this was like the first like 5 minutes of me logging into it, because it just went live, and like there's no way to change like the designation. They give it to you, but they don't let you. My Sega Saturn Shiro has special characters in it, and I wasn't able to add that in there, so it was just Shiro, Shiro, in all lowercase. But we present all capital case Shiro, Shiro, in all capitals, and capital and exclamation point. So it kind of hurt I wouldn't say hurt my brand, but it kind of hurt my knee. So if people saw me, I mean, I'm not expecting them to know Shiro, but I mean, it would, if they want to know about Shiro, it's going to like, oh, what's Shiro? If you Google Shiro, it's like very ambiguous. So to get to my thing, but yeah, it was a really strange time. And they had this internet forum thing where they had people posting, and I think I saw a couple people post there that are semi-famous. Like I saw a couple guys from Giant Bomb there. It was like this weird discussion forum for media, and taking a point, and to be able to talk to the companies, you had to drop a business card with them, which basically was you hit this button called drop business card, and it put it at their thing. And some people did reply to me back, and they had appointments for games like there was, I forget what the company was, but they did that one Pokemon game, Pokemon-esque game, and a few other ones. But they had a lot of those. I got a lot of those contacted. Funny enough, and Television did contact me. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So that was out of the blue. I didn't touch thing, but going back to that. But it was a weird time for media this year for sure, and I didn't think the interaction was as close as I hope it would be. But to be fair, I wasn't able to get a lot of appointments because it was a weird time for media. But I didn't really pay attention past the media week because everything was on the public display anyways. Mm-hmm. But to my knowledge, I don't think anybody really got to play demos that were part of the public E3 website, at least in my view, because there's thousands and thousands of people that logged onto that portal. And I kind of figured it's probably just going to go downhill in quality when everyone hops up anyway, so I kind of just hopped off and just paid attention to the media websites and stuff, and whatever is publicly, the YouTube channels.
Well, it sounds like less people got doxxed this year by the ESA, so I guess that's a small step.
Significantly less.
Yeah.
I was kind of bummed they didn't let you upload your own photo, though. It's like the avatar thing, so it's like you can't put a photo of yourself, so it's like, oh, hey, this is what I look like, so, we can interact. It's like, make an avatar, and guess what? They didn't have any bald hairstyle, so I kind of was fucked on that.
Oh.
But yeah, I guess if you want a short antidote in terms of the E3 with going back to Tommy Tallarico, do you guys know who Victor Lucas is?
Not ringing a bell.
Sounds familiar.
You remember Judgment Day, that electric playground that they did on G4 back in the day?
Yeah.
He was the opposite of Tommy Tallarico, that one other guy, Victor Lucas. I met him at E3 unexpectedly because I was waiting in line to get to this thing for this Nintendo booth area, and he went up to me as like, "Hey, everyone knows that you can play Fortnite now, right? And you download on the Switch." It's like, yeah, this is all for the things. Like, yeah, but you know that you can play the Fortnite now, and you can download it. Why is everyone waiting in line? It's like, oh, it's for this all event. And like, I looked at his badge, like, it said Victor Lucas. Like, oh, hey, you're Victor Lucas. And then I looked on his Twitter later on that night, and he complained about the same thing. It's like, dude, it was more than that. So, but I just thought it was kind of a funny antidote from that. But yeah, the media thing was kind of a weird time this time. But yeah, it was a weird time for sure.
You see, what you've got to do now is reach out to Tommy Tallarico and be like, "Hey, Tommy, do you have any interesting literature I could read about, the real people behind all our problems?"
Oh my God.
I'm just saying, if we can get Tommy Tallarico on the record, like saying some real garbage, we can break this shit right open,
I'm going to pass on that one.
To be honest, like, the fucking Amico is like a tenuous project at best right now. I'm pretty sure it'll take care of itself.
Yeah, I really have no idea who bought that or who wants to buy that. I mean,
we were initially excited.
The thing is that I feel like there's a fucking space for a machine like this if it wasn't being run by assholes.
Yeah, it's called the Playdate. Go buy that.
No, I think the Playdate does something different. The thing which the Amico is offering on paper, which is not garbage, is something which seems to be like a spiritual successor to like Nintendo's like interest in like multi-screen function and motion control. Like, it feels like a spiritual successor to the original Wii. When I watched their stupid fucking video of the guy playing cornhole, yeah, like they're like cornhole, and I'm like, man, laugh now, but like think about like the pre-launch videos that Nintendo put out, where like of the two guys driving around going like, we would like to play,
yeah,
and people were like, tennis, and then they played the tennis, and they're like, okay, this is a lot of fun. And the Wii was the video game you could play with your grandma. I can see a space for like a casual party machine, and they're showing functionality for the device, which is like, player-controlled secret data, which exists only on the screen for their controller. And I remember back to when the Wii U launched and Nintendo Land came out, and how Nintendo Land, for the most part, felt like a waste of $60, but there was a Luigi's Mansion-themed minigame in Nintendo Land, which was like a shit ton of fun, where the person who was playing using the gamepad was
controlling all the spooks.
Right. And so like just the way you manage like secret player information was like a lot of fun. And or even going back as far as like the Dreamcast, where like you had football games where you could like do play selection using the VMU screen. The notion of like secret data on player controller or secret data on a second screen, I think has value. And I think that there's some stuff that, like, if this wasn't being built by incompetent assholes, would be interesting to me. But they just said this week that, like, the Amico controllers are going to be $100. And, like, I'm like, who is this for?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that even going back to your question, if you want a console like that, it's called Get a Nintendo Switch, because it does have really a lot of those games, like, 1-2 Switch, fun family game. They have stuff like Just Dance on there. They have a ton of really fun games that, use the Just Dance is don't diss Just Dance. That's how I get my cardio in, dude.
I know people love Just Dance. I know it's an international sensation, but, like, holy shit, man, please.
Dude, Just Dance is so much fun. I can't deny. Dancing to a Moscow after loving it as an internet meme is probably the greatest thing I've ever experienced in my life.
Like, it just seems like a new delivery system for, like, Patrick Traynor and, like, Katy Perry songs that didn't make it to the radio. Like, holy shit.
And that's a bad thing?
I don't need either of them. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I love Iron Maiden as much as the next guy, but damn, I gotta admit that there's some bopping pop stuff out there that I just can't like dang. I love my Iron Maidens, I love my Megadeths and stuff, but man, I can't deny some of that pop stuff is so much fun to listen to.
Some pop stuff is good.
Although, Rocky, if anybody is going to be a delivery system for sexual harasser Katy Perry, Ubisoft seems like the best fit. Like,
not commenting on that one.
Oh, yeah.
And also the phrase Katy Perry delivery system sounds like a fucking threat, not a promise.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Katy Perry as a service.
Katy Perry as a service.
Jesus Christ.
But I guess getting back to it is just the Switch is... I just think it's a really great sort of casual system that mixes that. It could be anything it wants. If you want it to be a hardcore Japanese shoot-'em-up title, a system like a Vita, you can make it that like I did, because that's what I do. Love Cotton. Oh yeah, if you haven't played Cotton, go play it. What's wrong with you? That's my comment. Cotton reboot coming soon. Give me money, success. But anyways, yeah, it could be that, or it could be a casual system like the Ring Fit Adventure. I know Joe, I think he talked about that. Did he talk about that with you guys playing that one?
No, he didn't talk to us about it, but Ring Fit Adventure actually slaps.
Yeah, like there's games like that. There's games that can be very casual in nature, and it can be extreme, and that's what I like about the Switch. And it's $250 and not $100 for a fucking controller.
Well, it's $80 for a controller, but
I meant, oh yeah, that's right. But I mean, at least you can get more use out of it than the Amico controller. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, that's true.
But does the Switch have the spiritual successor to Echo the Dolphin on it? Huh?
Oh my god.
Wait, there's a spiritual successor to that?
Brian keeps trying to sell this, but once again, Impossible Coin hates dolphins. Dolphins are assholes. They're the frat boys of the ocean.
Okay, well, I mean, that's true, but to Matter's question, Intellivision has put together the fucking dev team for Echo the Dolphin.
Because what else are they doing?
Because they think that there's a market for this game, Dolphin Quest, for the Amico.
See, if they were smart, they would have put together the team from Mr. Mosquito.
I'm actually generally pissed I missed out on that game, and now it's like $200.
Yeah.
That actually gets me mad thinking about that, so thank you for that, Rocky. I appreciate that.
Sorry about it, buddy.
Be right back. I'm gonna go punch my wall. Be right back.
Please don't do that. Oh my god, just do some push-ups or something. Jesus.
I don't know, man. You ever see that video of that kid that was playing Stepmania and he like busted holes in his wall all through his room?
Yeah, no, I've seen that kid.
That's kind of like me, except with rare games. Every time, so I can tell you all the stories about the holes in my walls of all the games that I've seen go up in price that I missed out on. No.
Oh, man. Well, we're going to get you a stress ball for Christmas or something, Patrick. I don't know. We're going to work on that.
If you're just craving that Mr. Mosquito-style gameplay, then allow me to recommend spiritual successor to Mr. Mosquito, Gun Gun Pixies, available for the Nintendo Switch.
Oh, yeah, actually.
Yeah.
That is on Nintendo Switch. Fuck.
Yes. So,
Holy shit.
Yeah.
It's one of those games, isn't it?
Yeah, no. Yeah.
I mean, sorta, but not really.
Yes, but yes, this game is deeply horny, but it is also pretty much Mr. Mosquito, and Mr. Mosquito was also deeply horny. So,
it was.
Yeah,
sure.
I don't think he could be like, all right, I'm not going to play this spiritual successor to Mr. Mosquito because it's horny, when half of Mr. Mosquito is
horny.
Sucking blood out of the thigh of a teenage girl.
Yeah. That did happen.
I don't live with my parents anymore, so fuck it. Actually, is this guy the guys that did Galgun too?
I actually think they're different devs, but I'm not sure.
Oh, well, it looks like it's $56 on Amazon Prime overnight. Oh, hell yeah.
You'll be playing that shit tomorrow, bro.
There you go.
Hell yeah. And then, I think this is the day one edition, so I get a nice box. I get a book with all the girls in it. I get it's limited edition art book with all the girls in it, sorry. Man, this is weird. Not gonna lie.
I'm one of the kinds of people who, back before this was released for the Switch, I was like, man, they're never going to localize Gun Pixies. I better import it for my Vita.
Vita, that's a funny joke.
Yeah, unfortunately, it wasn't a widely heard joke.
Yeah.
Zoinks.
Hey, legit though, if you have Persona 4, it's like $150 now, so.
Yeah.
But,
well, I mean, like, it's $1 per hour. Like, that's just how it works.
Yeah, but I would recommend getting it on PC because it's a better port anyway, so.
Wait a minute, the copy of, like, Persona 4, you know what, fucked it. Oh, God. Sorry.
Persona 4 Golden is...
Please see earlier conversation about secondary game market.
Actually, it's more like $70, but I mean, it's still pretty expensive for that game. Buy it on PC, it's on Steam for not $70, and you can enjoy it. But if you're a Persona 5 fanboy, then you probably haven't heard of anything past Persona 5, so what does it matter, right?
Oh, God.
What's SMP stand for? But anyways, yeah. Oh, I lost track. Where were we at? We went from Galgun to Mr. Mosquito. Where were we at with that? Sorry, I lost track.
I think that you're buying the day one edition.
You're trashing the Echo the Dolphin dipshits.
Oh, yeah. Echo the Dolphin is okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a decent game. I'm really not into it, but hey, if you want to play Dolphin Boy, go buy it on the Amico, and then maybe wait a couple months when it's ported to something that's not the Amico.
Yeah.
Just like the Ouya games, all the exclusive Ouya games.
That reminds me of a steep hill that I'm currently trying to climb unsuccessfully, which is I have been sending out emails to people who worked at Ouya, being like, look, I want to do an oral history of Ouya. I want to walk through everything that happened, because, like, as much as a weird flame out as the Ouya was, the history of the Ouya is, like, really fascinating. And there's, like, a good story needs, like, a dynamic lead. And, like, Julie Ehrman is a fascinating figure. And, like, just nobody will talk to me about their time at Ouya. Just nothing. Zero.
Yeah. To be fair, I'm in the same boat with Michael Jackson at Sega. I talked to Tom Kalinske. I asked him straight up if he could ask me info on that. He's like, I think I signed an NDA about that. So that was dead in the water. And then I tried to reach out to Brad Buxer, and his management was like, nah, we're not going to do an interview for that. So I know your pain. That sucks.
And the thing is like, I can understand why Michael Jackson plus Sega is a weird black hole. There's going to be some weirdness there, but, like, why in the fuck is the Ouya a weird black hole? Like, okay, and I think that there's probably, like, a great big pile of money that went unaccounted for before the buyout by Razer, and there was all that shit about the Free the Games fund, which got real ugly. Okay, never mind. There we go. I just answered my own question. Like,
I think there's a lot of legal shit that could get people sued to high hell, so that's probably it.
And like any conversation about the Ouya does involve following the money, and if you follow the money, the people are going to put themselves at risk.
Yeah, but if you ever do that, you should end it with Rocco Bodia and Mix64 peeing on the Ouya.
Jesus.
He got so frustrated with it, he just took a video of him peeing on it. It was that bad of a console. Like, he tried to get support for it and stuff, and yeah, he just gave up, so. I don't know if that's still on YouTube, but if it is, go check it out. Or don't, actually.
I started to get interested, like, the weird... Thankfully, there is, like, a passionate, strange Ouya fan base out there who are, like, dedicated to trying to get the consoles to work again, because when Razer flipped the lights on the Ouya after they bought it out, just like, fuck it, we're shutting down support. Then the consoles just stopped working because they couldn't dial home to mama anymore. And...
I mean, those were an Android on it, right?
Right. So, like, people are now, like creating these, like, new Ouya servers that people can, like, point their consoles towards so that way their games will work again.
Ooh, that's right. You had to log in to use that, right?
You did. Yeah.
That is bad. I don't know. I think it's my point of principle is that if you have to log into things, you shouldn't have to, and you can't play games, you shouldn't buy it. But then that'd be hypocritical because I bought a PS4, and that's probably going to happen to me sooner or later.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But that's what they got the CMOS batteries for.
Yep.
But the Ouya is kind of fucked, though, just being honest. But
yeah.
I'm hoping that they'll figure out a way to just flash Android on it. So while you can't use the Ouya servers, you can just run Android on it.
Like, they're... All right, okay. This is not an Ouya podcast. I'm going to stop.
Number one Ouya podcast on the internet, Impossible Coin.
Oh, God. All your Amazing Frog talk right here. Like, we're going to talk about, like, the development history of Amazing Frog. Everyone cares. It's not just me, I swear.
It's just him.
We know.
It looks like there's some things here that you've got down, Patrick, that we haven't hit yet. Fan translations, tiny consoles, and the 1-2 punch of Snatcher and Policenauts definitely hold interest. What you got there, sir? Why are these down on your list?
Fan translations, that's a big topic. I guess in terms of Saturn, it's been very exploding recently. So, as some people might know, I realized that I'm not on the Saturn podcast anymore, so I can't say as you might know. But for people that don't know, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. In the United States, we got about 300 and odd change games for the Saturn. Japan got, I think, in the realm of 1,200 games in that area, maybe a little bit more or less. So the US got about 1/5 of that entire library, and while a lot of the library is hentai games, dating sims, and random bullcrap and mahjong games, there's still a lot of games that really never got a translation and are really stuck in Japan.
Hold on. You said mahjong games? Are we talking like the single player my grandma plays when she's bored mahjong games?
Yep.
Okay, so you're not talking about like the 4-player, like collaborative, competitive game mahjong.
I mean, it could be both. I mean, it could. I haven't played all of them, so it probably has some of those in there where it's like going against bots. There are a lot of mahjong games on that console, but yeah, there's a ton of that. But really, a lot of the stuff that came to America was, either American developed games in mind or little ones.
I think there's like a complete fan translation now available for Mazurna Falls for the PS1.
Oh, really?
Yes, that finally happened. And so it's something I probably want to throw on my RG351P.
Yeah, you gonna send that to me too, by the way. I want to play that.
Yeah.
Hit me up on Facebook.
Will do.
Like I was saying, though, the Saturn particularly, I mean, it's a pretty, not really well received in the United States console, and a console that really jumps out at you, but recently there's been a lot of fan translation developments in the last 2 years or so. Like we got the Sakura Wars fan translation, Vandal Hearts, Lunar 1, Grandia 1, let's see what else we got here. Cotton 2. There's just a ton of them, and I'm probably forgetting some that are pretty egregious, and some that are right now in development. Like they just came out with a Fire Pro 6-man scramble game fan translation, and right now there's a Deathmask fan translation that's in the works too. So that's kind of a fun project that's coming on. But I guess the thing I want to talk about is how awesome it is that these translations are coming out for these consoles. And how the Saturn scene is sort of blowing up in that regard, is that people are finally, oh, hey, this console's worth translating for now, and we're just getting constant titles. And even I'm part of a fan translation for, not the Saturn, but the Dreamcast. I've worked on 2 in the past. I worked on Taxi 2 and a Sakura Wars Columns 2 for the Dreamcast. So there's a lot of fan translations going on right now, and it's blowing up. It's just an amazing time. I want to see what you guys thought on that.
I know that for years there was like really just like a giant struggle with effective Saturn emulation. And do you think that like that has something to do with the kind of like delayed interest in fan translations? Like when you have a console which is like just so hard to emulate, did that kill interest in translating games?
I think the idea that the Saturn is hard to emulate is a big misnomer that's really been popping up. The Saturn actually was pretty decently emulated, and it's pretty easily to emulate for the most part. There's still some issues here and there, but I mean, nowadays you can get games in 4K, like upscaled on the Saturn emulators and get it to... There's a big channel that goes into that called the Saturn Junkyard that has a bunch of... There's a friend of mine, by the way, his name Nuno. He does a bunch of games for that and talks about how to get these games in 4K and play Saturn in 4K. It's pretty amazing. But it's kind of funny, though, because I think the N64 right now is the big problem child nowadays in terms of emulation. But yeah, I think with the emulation not being as popular and SSF being not as great as the other ones, I think it definitely put a hamper on things. But with the recent debugging tools that they released and they're able to debug stuff in the emulator, I think it made it a lot easier to look into the code and find out where to add these translations and patch them at, you know?
There's not a shit ton of text in this game, but has anybody done a translation of Psychic Killer Taromaru?
No, but I'd be interested in that. I was actually worried for a second you were going to say Princess Crown, because that's literally the game I've always been asked about constantly on Shiro.
Right.
Is when's Princess Crown? When's Princess Crown? When's Princess Crown? And I get it. It's a great game. It's just I think the people that were doing that one, it was in development, but it just was pushed to the side because the guy had stuff going on in his life. But I think it might be worked on again. But in terms of Psychic Assassin, I think I would like to see that one translated. I don't think anybody's looked into it yet, but I think it might be up there on the ring of games. I think right now they want to focus on some of the big text heavier ones. Like I know Persona, the Shin Megami Tensei Soul Hacker game. That one is that one is in the works because I've seen people actually enter the script from the PSP version of that. So I think that one is in development partially.
Right.
So I think there's some like that, but I would love to see Taromaru. That'd be pretty awesome.
Man, for me, I have a soft spot for that game. When I bought my Saturn in high school, it was like one of the easiest consoles for me to import games for. And
how'd you import them, if you don't mind me asking? Did you do the old game store, order the stuff?
There was a company that used to advertise in the back of Die Hard Gamer called The Cave. And the way you ordered from The Cave was that they would either take a credit card over the phone, you could Western Union them, or COD.
Call of Duty, my favorite delivery method.
Absolutely. And so, like, what I would do is I would get my money from my shitty job at Babbage's and then, open up to the latest ad from The Cave in the back of Die Hard, call their number and be like, oh man, I gotta have this game, and then just essentially leave the full value of my Babbage's paycheck at Babbage's and then have it delivered to the store where they would just keep my money for The Cave, like in an envelope at the bottom of the register. And then I would, like, the next time I show up to work, have my goofy imported game that I paid too much money for. Psychic Assassin was one of the first games I imported for the Saturn.
You still have it?
No, I don't.
Ooh, shit.
Oh,
yeah.
Right. No, there was an incident before the start of this show that I think compromised Brian's game collection.
Oh. Well.
Shoutouts to the 2013 Burglar, Rotten Hell. But
yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah, that sucks. That game is not cheap anymore.
No, it is not.
Fuck. That sucks, dude. My friend had the same thing happen to him. He had most of his game collection stolen. That sucks.
And how this all wraps back to the Ouya, the burglar left the Ouya.
Wow. What a big middle finger. What a big middle finger.
Holy shit, no! I never knew that! God damn it.
This should be the
so fucked.
This should be the podcast title of the episode, The Burglar Left the Ouya.
Oh, God. I'm down. None of us are actually doing titles, so we'll just put that down.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing right there. The burglar left the Ouya.
Is yelling at us at some place.
Wow. He realized how shitty that console was, and that was too shitty for him.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm so sorry about that, dude. That sucks. Big time.
Yep.
I guess getting back to the import stuff, I remember I don't know if you guys heard of Sega Lord X.
Yep.
I talked to him on the podcast a little while ago. We did I did a live stream of Magic Night with him, and he was telling me that back in the day, he would order it from a game store, and he would just get a bunch of stuff, and he was paying top dollar, because some of the stuff he got cheap, like Castlevania, for decent prices, but he paid lots of money for a lot of shitty games, though, that are like imports that are like $1 nowadays. But I mean, you didn't know back then what it could have been, and I thought that was very interesting thinking about that. And nowadays, I think it's a trade-off. It's like, we know the games, how good they are, but they're more expensive. But we also are prevented from buying something like a text adventure that we can't understand, or a dating sim that's impossible for us to play.
Right. It's weird because, like, and something I talked about in this show, like, I guess at the point a couple months ago, is there is this, like, kind of very special disappointment that comes from, like, importing a game and then hating it. And, like, these kids today will never know that feeling. And the last time I felt it, and it was so weird because, like, on one hand, I felt like a rush of nostalgia because, like, I haven't had that feeling now in, decades. But when I bought Balan Wonderworld,
oh yeah,
it effectively recreated that feeling perfectly. And I didn't,
that was the second time.
And I didn't even have to, like, leave money in the register for it. I just, like, wow, this is a terrible video game.
You got brick directly delivered to your forehead at your computer.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this is just so bad.
Disappointment as a service, huh?
Man, I remember having, like, great affection for my video game import house of choice. Like, I remember getting Hermie Hopperhead for my PS1. And another thing which I don't have anymore and wish that I did was that the year that Sega published Knights, they put out these, like, beautiful Knights hats that, oh God, what trade show did they hand those out at?
Probably like E3 or Tokyo Game Show or something.
Yeah. And, it must have been Tokyo Game Show because, like, this was my import house. And, like, I was just buying so much shit from them that they're like, hey, Brian, we sent you a present in your most recent box. And it was the Knight's hat, which looks like Knight's hat. And look at this, like, goofy little, like, jester cap thing, this, like, purple hat. And it just had, like, Knight's, like, stitched onto the front of it. I have, like, a saved eBay search for that hat. And whenever I see it, I'm like, I'm not buying this fucking hat for $100. I'm just not. No.
Listen to a good Christmas disc for you.
There's dumb video game shit that I will spend money on, like arcade operator manuals for Final Fight. There we go. I'll spend money on that, but I just cannot bring myself to spend $100 on this hat.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty crazy, though. But, man, if I ever see one, I'll see if I can pick one up for you.
Appreciate it.
I'll check it out. And whatever you want, Rocky, too.
So why are we talking Snatcher?
This is probably undisputedly the best game of all time. Okay, maybe not that exaggerated, but it's a really great game. I mean, I am a big Hideo Kojima fan to the point where I got a tattoo on my shoulder of the Foxhound logo. It's the Foxhound logo from Metal Gear 2, not the typical one. But anyways, I'm a massive Kojima fan. I've been playing games for years, and I actually heard about this years ago, but never played it. And I think around 15 or 14, I popped it in and played it for the first time, and oh my god, the game was amazing. I love the text-based adventure elements. I love the music. Like, the music is one of my favorite soundtracks of all time, and I just fell in love with it. Not to the point where I paid $500 or now $1,000 for the game, which would be nice, but I really enjoyed the game. It's one of my favorite games of all time. I think a really fun text-based adventure. Have you guys ever played that?
I have not. It has been on my to-do list for far too long.
It's a pretty quick game. It's only about like a couple hours. It's pretty fast-paced. You'd probably breeze through it in an afternoon or a day or so. But it's a ton of fun. Basically, you play as Gillian Seed, a Snatcher, and it's totally not a ripoff of Blade Runner in the slightest. To the point where literally there's a character that looks like... You guys watch Dune, right?
Yep.
You know Sting's character? The one with the jacket?
Yep.
One of the characters, I guess the anti-hero, called Random Hajil, has that same jacket. If you look up Random Hajil, or just look up Snatcher Random, it will show his jacket, and it's literally the same jacket that he wears in Dune. But the entire game is a callback to Blade Runner, Doom, Cyberpunk. It's literally titled Snatcher, a Cyberpunk Adventure. And you play Gillian Seed taking out these things called Snatchers, which is the machines that mysteriously appeared in Moscow. And because you woke up from the slumber, and you were in sleep stasis for like 50 years, and you came to the future, and everything you know is gone, and you have to work as a... I forget the name, but he basically works like the Blade Runner guys, hunting down the Snatchers and killing them. And basically you go through that, and then you discover that things are not what it seems, and I'm not going to spoil the game, but it's a really fun text-based adventure. It's a little bit horny in some aspects, but I've kind of gotten used to that from Kojima, and it's a little bit worse in Policenauts, if you guys ever played that one either.
I have not Policenauted.
That was another fan translation that came out for Saturn in 2016, but you actually played as a cop that also was lost in space and was frozen, and he woke up in the future, and you actually have to investigate this weird occurrence of your ex-wife's husband who disappeared. And it's another one of those whodunit murder mystery twist things. And it's a lot of fun, but it's really horny. Like, the main character is a lot of sexual assault in that game. Like, he'll, like, rope people and stuff.
Jesus.
Or yeah. It's pretty awful. It's to the point where I remember hearing that staff, like, persuading Kojima not to do that and that this was too far. And the thing is that luckily it's optional for you to do that in the game, but there's some really... Oh, no, actually, no, there actually is one scene where it actually isn't optional. I forgot. But yeah, it's a very weird game, but it's a ton of fun. I really enjoy it.
Have you messed around with Paradise Killer at all?
Oh yeah, I've heard the soundtrack. It's amazing. I have not yet played it though, sadly, but I kind of want to pick up the game. But the soundtrack I've been listening to, that was banging.
Yeah, I still need to get the vinyl for it. But fucking Paradise Killer sounds like a lot like Policenauts is. I mean, a lot less sexual assault involved, but
yeah, probably for the better.
It's definitely like a future cop pulled out of like stasis or something to solve one big mystery that's like a whodunit, like locked room murder type of thing.
Huh.
The big selling point behind Paradise Killer, at least what they were trying to say, is that like you basically decide when the story ends. So like there isn't necessarily like a chain narrative where like now you do this and now you do this. Instead, you're just kind of dropped into an open world and you do what you want. In fact, you can end the game immediately, like albeit with no evidence, but like there is an ending that you can like trigger immediately. And so like you talk to the various like people on the island and like gather clues and whatnot and form your case. And whatever like ending you actually end up with is actually canon. And there's a lot of reasons for that, but it's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, that's been on my list, but I think I'll have to pick that up. Is that on like all the major ones like PC, PS4, Switch stuff?
I know for sure PC Switch, because I played on Switch. I know it's on PC. I think it's also on PS4, but I'm spacing on it right now.
No worries. As long as it's on Switch, I'll give it a try on probably one of those console platforms. But yeah, that's definitely one I've been eyeing. I just haven't had a chance to play it, and I wasn't too sure what the game was about, so I was kind of in the middle about it.
For sure, yeah.
But I'll get you. But yeah, definitely recommend playing Snatcher and Policenauts. I wish I could recommend playing emulation, but these games are not on any e-store in America. So, and if you want to play Snatcher in the United States, it did get an English translation and localization, but it's $1,000 to buy the game on Sega CD.
Jesus fucking Christ.
And the other downside is you actually have to play it on Sega CD, so that's also a very, very big downside. No ports, as always. Konami, fuck Konami, hashtag.
Yeah. And
Policenauts never got localized, but it's a fan translation, so if you know where to find these things, wink wink, I would recommend playing them. But it's kind of sad because the unaccessibility really kills it for me, selling it as a great game. But maybe, to be honest, the Policenauts, maybe it's probably good that it stays out of the public eye because of what's in that. So
yeah, that makes some sense.
Oh.
So what is the record of Lodoss War?
Oh, it's a new Metroid. I hate using that term. It's a new Metroidvania style game. I wouldn't say new. I think it came out a couple years ago, but it's a really fun. It's based off the anime record of Lodoss War. I've started playing that recently, but you basically traverse these caverns. You use like bows and stuff, and you can get through all these obstacles, but it's basically like a Metroidvania style game. Like, I used to close thing is Bloodstained, and it's more Symphony inspired than anything though.
Okay.
But it's a ton of fun. You navigate these things, navigate these puzzles, and you just try to beat all these bosses. It's really fun. I would highly recommend picking up. I think I paid like $10 for it on Steam. So
it's in early access right now, I think.
Yeah, it looks like it's early access, but it's in English, so you can play it in English, but it's a ton of fun. Like, I've been really enjoying it. I hadn't had time to sit down and play it much, but if I understand, it's fairly priced, and it's a great game. But yeah, it's $15.
Oh, it's not. This is full release. This isn't early access. Holy shit.
Oh, I guess it was at one point, but I guess they just got out of it recently. But yeah, full game. It's 20% off, so it's $15. I think that's a pretty good deal for that style of game, and I love 2D side-scrolling Metroidvania-style games.
Mm-hmm.
Not big on the terminology on it, but, that's a debate for another time.
Yeah, I get that.
But anyways, yeah, that's a great game. Play Record Lodoss War if you haven't. It's on Steam.
Yeah, it's my list. I'll keep an eye on it. Hey, everybody. This has been our show. It's called Impossible Coin. We do it every week. You can find us wherever podcasts are found. iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, SoundCloud. Fuck SoundCloud, except for our good friend Big Sach. He made the music at the beginning and end of this podcast, and he features his work on SoundCloud at soundcloud.com/BigSachNJ. Our logo is also a t-shirt, and it was designed by Lauren Moran. You can find her on Twitter at Lauren Moran, and consider donating to her Patreon. She does the good business. And speaking of Patreon, we have one of those too at patreon.com/ImpossibleCoinPodcast. There you will find our artisanal show notes, our bespoke watch-alongs, and audio essays about things that we care about. And, if you throw us a couple bucks, we wouldn't be mad at you. We are also on social media. I'm on Facebook and Instagram. Brian's on Twitter. Tegan's on Tumblr. It's all Impossible Coin. No dashes, underscores, or anything weird like that. In fact, if you see something, say something, because we're trying to cut back on those. But, yeah, that's us. That's the show. Patrick, thank you for hanging out with us. Thanks for being on the show.
I really enjoyed it. If you guys want to see more of my stuff, check me out, the SegaSaturnShiro.com or the Spirit Hunters on iTunes and stuff. And I have my own Twitter, Traynoco, Traynoco, where you can talk to me about my cassettes or my vinyl stuff or whatever dumb things I'm posting at the moment. So, yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on and entertaining my old man shit. I rarely have someone on to old man shit with, and it was very rewarding.
Yeah, no worries. I definitely would love to be on again. This definitely was a lot of fun to do and talk to you guys again, because I know the last time we talked was the C-Lab stream we did. It was beginning of the year, right?
Yep.
6 months ago?
Actually January, February, something like that.
Yeah, so I'd love to do this again for sure, because I had a lot of fun.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on our show, and have a good show. Peace.
Later, guys.
You suck.